Okay, guys, this is fresh from the hot box, so it's still warm, so we're going to get it while it's good. Sorry for the abrupt start, but as you can see, as we pull up on this, the clay is starting to separate from the mold. Hopefully it will be very, how do we say, anticlimactic, because the important thing is that we get the mold looking good. The clay, you can see, is kind of like warm chocolate almost. Don't want to put a whole lot of stress on that front. That's why I keep trying to rock it back to get that front out. Kind of gentle wiggling because I don't want to break any of the fine details in the gills or anything like that. Just trying to free it up a bit.
Hey! Oh dear.
Yeah, it's never a pretty thing. Yeah, he looks surprised. I think that's the look of he can breathe.
Oh my gosh, everybody cheer with us. Yay!
Yes.
Oh goodness.
Now the best news is looking at the mold here, it looks like it's in really, really, really good shape. So let me see if I can turn this upright so you can see. Love the negative images, but that's what we're looking at right out of the mold. So you see, this is where we knew it was going to grab, but all these little areas here should just pick right out, especially once it gets a little bit firmer. These areas will all just pinch and pull with very little loss of detail to the clay even. We might go in with like, I like using kebab skewers to kind of get the fine little areas out, or I just take a piece of the clay and wad that in my fingers and kind of just touch it to the clay, and then that comes out as well. But I know it's quite a fright seeing the sculpt that we took 40 plus hours on.
From my perspective, it looks like it's kissing the back of its own head.
Yes, it totally is. But what a sacrifice it made. So we got it out. So the next time you see this, we'll probably be prepping it, I would say, for the latex. So this was very successful. There are always issues that come up, like we actually lost. It was a very thin spot right up here atop the tongue. So if ever that happens when you're doing a mold, save the piece, because we can always use a gypsum cement to hold that in there, and then you don't have any problem. And if you're doing a latex mask, you could even put clay in something like that. If it's a tear out, you put clay in it and basically replicate the shape. But in actuality, that is the back side of the tongue that's going to get cut out anyway. So it's not like there's a lot of detail on that piece, and I figured it might have been a little bit too deep. But by gluing that back in with a little bit of epoxy or like a gypsum cement, it'll be absolutely perfect. So yeah, so this will take just a little bit of cleanup. We'll use softwood tools to do the rest of the cleanup. I won't bore you with that because that's very crazy, but that's about as good a mold as you could expect with something like this. Nice sharp edges, clean, just a little bit of clay to clean out. Of course, the 1310 dulling spray does a great job in keeping all of that releasing well. So very few air bubbles from what I can see, if any. All the important details like the little wrinkles and stuff, you see how easy this stuff just comes right out. So I don't think cleanup's going to be very hard or take very long. So one thing that I will probably do is, for a while, I will probably actually get this mold together and strap it. So if there is any more drying or anything, it's not going to dry against itself. So in other words, it's not going to warp away from itself or anything like that. But But while we're here, let's take one more look at our friend that we've looked at so long, because yeah, he looks more like a Plecostomus now than a Gill man. I told you it would grab those eyebrows, so he looks very surprised. But yeah, that's not going to be my profile picture, I promise you. But yeah, so again, thank you all so much. I'm so glad that you were able to join us in on this process. We're going to be on to cleaning up the mold, getting hands cast so we can start doing the work on the hands and the feet. I'll probably, if you guys are interested, be a little more diligent in recording things like that, like actually the sculpting of one of the hands or the feet, or definitely the suit. But I can't thank y'all enough. We hit over 1,000 views on some of the previous videos. RJ Grady, many of you know him as the Kilted Creature. He agreed to help us out in editing some of this down so we have something a little bit easier to watch rather than watching it for 4 days straight.
A little more digestible.
Yes, yeah, and little bits. So we are going to be working on that. But again, from all of us here at Scott Fenster Sculpture Studio, Miss Amber, Chelsea, Ted, thank you so much for your support of what we do here, and keep tuning in for more information. Please share the videos. Check out our page on Hearts of Reality Presents Gill-A-Bration. Like it. If you're planning on going or trying to go, definitely click the buttons, because that's going to help us get necessary sponsors and vendors interested. And other than that, anyone got any other last minute questions? Just I see a lot of signs of relief too, but yes, we just love this image, don't we?
Profile pic.
No profile pic.
Meme format.
He served.
No, it's the new shocked Pikachu face.
Yes, he served us well. So yeah, I always respect my pieces. I know it's corny, but when you're done with a piece like this and you've gotten the molding done and everything, there is like a very, happy moment that, hey, we're going to soon use this in something else. So what we used here is going to be used in the hands and that sort of thing. So we just got a little cleanup on this and melting it back down, getting all the junk out of it, and then it'll be ready to reuse. So again, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. It doesn't look like we have any other questions or anything that have come in, but stay in touch. If you have any questions after the fact, I'll check all the questions on the videos. We'll go back and look at some of the old videos, because I noticed a bunch more questions came after it went to the archive. So we'll have a bunch more coming. But thank you guys so much. Again, we'll take one more look at the front of the mold and put him back over here for now. Actually, one thing we can show is how this is going to tentatively fit back together. And I'll show you how easy and why I didn't put keys on the center part of it. But this is going to be our other section here that's going to carefully line up here. You want to watch your edges. And then this one will go right in this section here. And those keys just snap right in. Once we have those two sections in place, carefully. Once that's in, then it gets that compression strap on it, and that holds this in place. So we'll have a strap that goes around this whole thing. And now it's much lighter not having the 20 pounds of clay in there. It's still going to be heavy, because it is, almost a bag and say 3/4?
Yeah.
So those are 50-pound bags, but that gives you an idea how that goes back. So next thing we're going to do is show you how we cast up the first master cast that we get out of this. Any last minute questions on that? Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, then you have witnessed history. This is the creation of the mold of the mask that we're going to be using for Gill-A-Bration 2019 here, September 14th this year. So thank you all again for tuning in. Share the video if you would. Check out our website at Scott Fenster Sculpture. and of course on Twitter and all those other ones at Scott's Toy Box, and right here on Facebook under Scott C. Fenster, as well as our master page, the Scott Fenster Sculpture Studio. So thank you all very, very much.